always be glad to have you here. Also want to remind you that we are recording the sessions today so that any new teachers who are not able to join us can join in later on by watching the recorded sessions. So to get started with our welcome, I want to introduce Dr. Madeline Cerna Marmal. She is our Associate Superintendent of Equity, Instruction, Innovation, and Support for APS, and she is our boss here in Curriculum and Instruction. She's been an educator for 23 years, working at all levels, both in the U.S. and in the Dominican Republic. And previous to coming to APS, she worked for the Legislative Finance Committee at the Taos Municipal School District and the American School in Santo Domingo, called the Carol Morgan School. She was the Senior Duty Officer at the White House Situation Room and Deputy Director of Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute. She has a BA in Political Science and Spanish from the University of Notre Dame, an MA in Political Science from George Washington University, an MA in International Education from Framingham State University, and an EDD from UNM. And just to add, she is one of the nicest people you'll ever want to meet, and she has a heart for teaching and learning, and we are really glad to have her with us today. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Cerna Marmal.
Wow, thank you for that lovely introduction, Jamie. It's always great to be here. Good morning, everybody. Buenos dias, bienvenidos a APS. Welcome to APS. We're so excited to have you here this morning. As Jamie mentioned, I am Associate Superintendent of Equity, Instruction, Innovation, and Support. What does that mean? I oversee about 32 different departments. They include equity and engagement, curriculum and instruction, all the title programs, so Title I through Title VI, innovation and school choice, which includes charter schools, instructional materials and library services, fine arts, school climate, nursing, counseling, and early childhood, just to name a few. This will still be an extraordinary year, and we intend to start in full in-person learning this year. We're still working with the state on health mandates and social distancing and mask requirements. You will be getting more information from your principals as we get the information. So in curriculum and instruction, we're working on unfinished learning, and you'll hear more about that in this morning's training. We also continue to increase our culturally and linguistically responsive instructional materials. So hopefully your classroom libraries will contain more CLR books and instructional materials. And I just wanted to take a little time to read you a statement that we use in most of our APS district-wide documents on equity. Albuquerque Public Schools is a culturally and linguistically responsive, diverse community committed to educational equity for all students. APS provides various levels of support and assistance to students, families, and schools that are appropriate to specific needs. APS students deserve respectful learning environments in which diversity is valued and contributes to successful academic outcomes through equitable decisions by the district. We are really working, our leadership team is really working on a strategic plan. We're going to be going out in the next couple of weeks and having some community forums to talk about them. But just so you know, we have 5 pillars that we're working from, which are equity and access for all students and staff, supporting high quality, equity-driven instruction for every student, social and emotional learning, effective and efficient operations, staff and community engagement. So I just really want to thank you all for being here again this morning. We're so excited to have you. We're so excited for 21-22. It's unbelievable that 2021, even though it was challenging, it went by quickly. This summer has gone by quickly. We're almost in August. But I just want to tell you that when you need help, ask for help. We're here to support you. Your fellow teachers are there to support you. Your principals are there to support you. That's one of the biggest pieces of advice that I learned when I was a new teacher is you're not in this alone. We are here to help you. There's lots of resources and supports there for you. So please take advantage of that. You know, you're so important in the lives of every single child that walks in your classroom and that you meet along the way. I've always been told that I was tough but fair, but I also always listened. And a big lesson that I learned was to be kind. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. So always strive to be kind. Thank you so much for your time and good luck this year. Again, we're here to help and support you.
Thank you, Dr. Cerna Marmal. It's great to have you here and love your support all the time. Thanks for what you're doing. Okay, folks, I'm going to turn our morning welcome over to Amelia Milazzo, who is the Executive Director of Curriculum and Instruction. She is our direct supervisor and works with all of the folks that are going to be presenting to you today. She is also like the coolest woman in the entire world and really, really smart. And we all love her. And she is working really hard to make these kinds of PD sessions happen. And so, Amelia, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Jamie. So I'm really excited to be here today. I'm really happy that you guys have all come. I know that the most valuable resource we have right now is time, and that you've given us a couple of days here at the last minute right before school starts is a really a valuable contribution to the district, even though you're getting paid. I know your time is more valuable than money right now. So thank you so much for doing that. I really only need you to know two things. One is that I really believe that teaching is the most important job in America right now. It's the difference between our country moving forward and succeeding and individual students having productive and happy lives. And so you are right there at the forefront of changing and creating the world of tomorrow. And I know that sounds really corny, but I believe it with every fiber of my being. So never for any day forget how important the work you're doing is. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Important work is really hard most of the time. So days are going to be hard this year, but that doesn't mean that every day isn't incredibly, incredibly valuable for our district, our state, our country, our kids, most of all. So never forget that, even in the hard times. Second is, this is the first day that you're probably going to meet most of our team, but I really hope it's not the last day. We really want to establish a relationship with you. We really want you to know that we're there with you. This is the Teacher Learning Network is an amazing, amazing group of teachers that I have been so blessed to be able to work with, and they are just all about helping support you and support kids and helping this work for everybody. So I hope that you won't let the idea of it being the district get in the way of really reaching out to these wonderful ladies and gentlemen and asking for their help when they need it, using the resources that they've created, and letting us kind of walk with you side by side for the rest of this year. So really know that when we say we're there to help you, we honestly mean it. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Jamie Jacobson and Karen Webb, who have done I'm just here to say the fancy words. They've done all of the really heavy lifting with our team for the next 2 days, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about what it's going to look like for everybody. And thank you and welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you, Amelia. Dr. Webb, would you like to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your area?
Surely. Good morning. My name is Karen Webb, and I am Senior Director of Secondary Learning. I want to welcome all of you this morning. If you have any questions, if you need anything, please do not hesitate to contact me. You'll have all of our contact information in the toolbox, and I hope you enjoy today. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it back to Jamie so we can get started.
All right, folks. We are excited to have you here. We all remember with loving thoughts, also a little bit of fear and trepidation, and a lot of wisdom what our first days were like back at the beginning of our careers. And so we know, we've walked in your shoes. We know what you're going through right now. We know that there are people here who are brand new to APS, but there are also people here who may have started in the last year or so while we were on the COVID closure. And so you did not have necessarily the same startup experience that you would have had we not been in a pandemic year. And so we want to welcome all of you. We do have some people continuing to join. They are phoning me and texting me to let me know to let them in, and so I'm going to be working on that. But if you have any issues, as Molly just said in the chat, please let us know in the chat anything that you need throughout the day. And hopefully you all got the schedule that has all of the links on it that you need for today. And then, of course, after the summit is over tomorrow afternoon, we will send you a timesheet that you'll need to sign and then return to us. We do have office hours this afternoon. I think, Molly, you're going to talk a little bit more about that, so I don't want to steal all of her thunder. But I'm going to turn it over to our team. We've got some great educators here who are experienced in the classroom, have been where you are, and they've got a great day planned for you. So Molly, I'm going to turn it over to you. This is Molly Key. She is Behavior Support Specialist for the Curriculum and Instruction Department.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad I put on a decent shirt because I didn't realize I'd be talking. So this morning, we've got a great, amazing, busy day ahead of us. We're starting everyone out with the same session on building behavior support systems with my colleagues, Anna Kay and Mark Halbig. We're starting it that way so that everyone has the same strong footing on creating supportive, creative, and well-supported classroom settings. We want everyone to start off happy and ready to build relationships with their students and positive